Peace, peace, salutations. My name is Michael J. Turner, and you are shining with the Arizona sun. Thank you for being you. I'm already established in your mind as fantabulous. This is Stereo Fix 888. This channel is about transformation, ascension, transcendence, going from low vibe to high vibe, personal development. Bottom line, let's do it. So I'm gonna give you some concepts I've gathered through my studies. This is always based on me changing, right? The things that I give you, things that have been revelatory for me to give me knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and the ability to transcend this three-dimensional reality and evolve and find the highest version of myself. Because as I was consumed with self-destructive behavior and completely lost with very little self-awareness, it seemed as though the road would trudge on and on. But here's the thing, and I'm going to quote somebody, I'm going to quote Nero Knowledge. Spirituality that doesn't give you control over your reality is vanity. So what I'm going to give you is going to reference some scriptures and things like that. But once again, this is me teaching me, and hopefully you get some gems from it. You know, because it's had an impact on me and the way my perspective, and perspective is everything, right? So what we're gonna talk about right now. See if we get it in the shot. Sheep. Right? The sheep. Y'all know what sheep, and you may have heard that Jesus was a shepherd, right? Jesus was a shepherd, okay? And Jesus also cast the people out of the temple. He wanted to cast the demons out of the temple, or whatever. I might not be referencing it perfectly, but wait, hold on. How about this? Out of temple. Right. Now, Jesus also has said, and it's been established by John the Baptist, right, that the name of God is I am. What's God's name? I am. What's God's name? I am. I am. Okay, so we're gonna write that over here. All right. In between. In between the temples, I am. In between the temples, I am. Okay. Also, from the scripture, it's been said that the kingdom is within. Okay, so this isn't stuff that's like I'm just pulling out my ass. These are actual things from the scripture, the Bible, and things that, you know, you may have overlooked or been never introduced to. But I am is what's referenced as when they ask him what, you know, they ask him what's up, and he's like, I am that I am. Okay, and then Jesus is a shepherd. He cast the people out of the temple. Okay, and the kingdom is within. So what I want to talk about is being the observer. If I am. Damn it. The observer. Alright, let's get this right real quick. Right quick. Alright. The observer. The I. Okay. The I, and I am. Okay. I can hear my voice right now. I can hear a voice in my head if I think, if I choose to, which means that I'm observing both of them, essentially, if I can hear them, right? And what I've noticed is, when I think of something or determine something, it's lightning quick. The speed of thought is lightning quick. I don't have to actually think it out loud in my head. So I almost feel as though that's the true me, right? And then I can consciously like think about things, like, you know, ponder things, debate things, or calculate things or whatever, I suppose. But here's the thing. As the observer, I've noticed now, with self-awareness, through self-awareness, that when I'm in that mode within my mind, thinking about something, sometimes a thought pops up. Okay? Sometimes a thought pops up and argues with myself, like I'm indecisive, or I literally go against myself within my mind because of a conflicting thought that pops up. Okay? Also, periodically, things just pop up. Where is that coming from? Okay? So, a couple ideas, a couple concepts, perhaps, that could be accurate, right? I have my conscious mind and my subconscious mind. I have 10% of my mind that I use, my carnal mind that I use consciously, okay? The rest of it's over here. I have thoughts. I have thoughts that don't get completed, right? They still linger and want to manifest in my life because they're not processed. I don't give them silence time to process. So this is what I realized. Those are the sheep, right? And I am supposed to be the Christ, right? Son of God, God's son, okay? If I'm made in his image, right? And if you believe in me, you believe in the Father. As in, if you believe in yourself, you believe in God. Because, or the creator, the designer, the most high spirit of the universe, because where did we come from? What designed this perfect machine, to this avatar that has a seat, a throne in between the two temples? Okay? So if I believe in myself, by default, I believe in the Most High. Because I am of that. I am, okay? And I have 10% to tithe, right? They have this idea of tithing. 10%. Okay. 10%, I have 10% of the brain I control consciously. My carnal mind I control consciously. So through my thoughts and emotions, I can give 10% to the kingdom within by sitting in silence. Doing nothing. Okay? Follow me now. So I'm the sheep. So the thoughts within my mind can flow and be processed through. Because in order to be transformed, it takes place on the mental plane. Now, how many times have you heard the saying, the kingdom is within, all right? Remember that. How many times have you heard the saying? Just put it in the back of your mind. I put it in the back of my mind. I put it in the back of my head. talking about thoughts that I discarded and fast forwarded to the back of my head. Thoughts that I didn't complete, right? Put in the back of my, I've been keeping it in the back of my mind. I'm not being a good shepherd of my, but here, this is where this all kind of came together for me, right? Well, one of the places. People count sheep when they go to sleep. To go to sleep, they count sheep. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? So anyway, I also realized that 10% could be 10 minutes. But in Revelation, it mentions there was silence in heaven for about a half an hour, and then the seventh seal was open. Meditation. Now, meditation is not necessarily what you think. So if this is the temple, this is the seat of God, the throne of God within here, and it's full of thoughts that are swarming, they need to be cast out of the temple. I need to be a good shepherd, and I need to give 10% of my carnal mind to meditation. Now, meditation can come in many forms, right? The idea is whenever I can allow my mind to clear. Basically, I find myself able to get into a meditative state walking, riding a bike, working, doing something, but it's gonna be in silence. But the greatest thing, I think, is to just find time for myself to just sit with myself, doing nothing, staring preferably at one thing, like a color or something, but just letting things process through and flow through how they're supposed to. Okay. So there can be silence in the temple. And God can sit in his throne. Peace.